Man and Machine is brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.
Unbelievable! Now we're talking.
Welcome back to Man and Machine. We're at the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars race headquarters in Sydney. You might remember in a past episode we were here talking to legendary drag racer Graham Cowan, and he kindly offered me a drive in one of these awesome nitro burning funny cars. Well, guess what? That's what I'm here to do. This is going to be an amazing episode, so stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Well, I'll be honest, it almost seems surreal. I can't believe I'm going to be driving one of these Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny cars. Can't believe it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I feel so privileged. It's the sort of thing that people dream about. I really don't know what to expect. I've watched these things, I've been next to the racetrack while they've been blasting past, and even then it's almost like another world. It's like you've been struck by some sort of massive earthquake. The ground shakes, the noise is just out of this world. They just blow your socks off. They're a violent, angry and very powerful piece of machinery. You've got to remember these things are insanely fast. 4,000 horsepower. The things do 200 miles per hour at half track. I've never driven any such thing before. I've gone drag racing, I've run a 9-second quarter, I've driven and tuned cars with 1,000 horsepower, but that is nothing compared to this. It's a whole new world. These things are capable of 400 kilometres top speed over the quarter mile. That's a very short distance, 400 metres. These cars are different. There's no foot brake, there's a handbrake. The accelerator feels very awkward. The clutch on them has a very, very small amount of travel, about 3/8 of an inch. Doesn't even feel like it's operating at all. One thing I've noticed is they're very tight inside, they're very cramped. There's not a lot of room. Your feet are almost jammed in there beside that transmission. A little small steering wheel. It's a little bit daunting, to be honest with you, when you sit in these things. They're very claustrophobic too, so it's going to be a hell of an experience. This is going to be a wild ride. I don't know what to expect. I don't know whether to feel nervous. I don't know whether to feel excited. Either way, I'm going to do it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and I have to grab it. Any heroics in these cars are surely going to end in tears, so I'll be following instructions to a T. I'll be listening to Shane Olive, my mentor, my instructor, and doing everything he tells me to.
We've got Glenn up here this weekend. He's about to experience what it's like to step on the gas with 4,000 horsepower underneath his right foot. He's going to be taught how to drive an Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny car. I've been taught by one of the best in the world, Graham Cowan. He's my godfather. I'm going to lend my experience that I've been taught to Glenn here this weekend. It's a big process to learn how to drive one of these cars, and he's got a lot to look forward to. We'll run through with Glenn this weekend the procedure in the car, what he needs to have on at certain times, how he needs to approach the burnout, how he needs to approach going into stage. There's different fuel levers, there's taking your foot off the clutch, there's holding all that weight of that car and that force of that car on the handbrake. Once the burnout process is out of the way, it'll be the run. That's where it'll get exciting. So first thing you're going to get familiar with, handbrake, fuel levers, safety ignition switch, reverse lever. You got your clutch pedal down here and your gas pedal over there.
So what are some of the things I should look out for with the car? I mean, I believe that any application of the throttle, unless you're actually getting motivated, it is a bit of a dangerous situation.
The only time you're on the gas pedal is in the burnout and when you leave the start line on a run. That's the only time you use that throttle.
And what would happen if you use the throttle, even free revving the engine? Would it
Yeah,
explode?
it's very dangerous. You're obviously going to hurt the engine and probably hurt someone around the car. So vital that you don't touch that accelerator unless it's in a burnout or on a run.
So what would actually happen? The engine just revs to infinity, or is it?
Not really. It probably wouldn't damage it that much, but it's obviously not good for it. You know what I mean?
So it needs to be under load to be.
It does
happy.
need to be under load. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's quite different having a handbrake. There's no foot brake at all, so that's That's going to take a bit of getting used to, obviously. How do you find that? I mean, obviously the brake's not used to slow the car down from great speed. The parachute's supposed to do that job, but either way, I suppose you've got to stage and stop the car in other applications.
You do need that handbrake. Obviously there's no room for a foot brake, but you will obviously use that a lot and use the clutch pedal a lot. It'll be just like you're driving your normal manual car. Okay, when we first start the car up and we're in the staging lanes, this fuel pump lever will already be on. You'll grab the brake, always hold the brake, always have your foot on the clutch. The guys up front will be starting the engine. They'll make sure that you're okay. Once the engine starts, make sure there's oil pressure. We'll muck around with idle, make sure everything here's right with the engine. The guys on the on the car there will put the body down and you'll be ready for a burnout. Once the burnout procedure starts, the body's down, someone will tell you to roll through the water. So you got your hand off the brake and ride the clutch. On and off until you go through the water. Someone will be just past the water to tell you to do the burnout. Once you see that arm come down, foot off the clutch and stab the accelerator pedal. You'll see it'll hit the throttle stop. That's how much movement you got for a burnout.
So the throttle's limited during
Yes.
the burnout?
Yeah, it
to
is.
save the engine?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. The burnout will go for roughly 3 seconds. Count to yourself, 1, 2, 3, off. When you get off the gas, foot back on the clutch, slow the car down. Once the car's stopped, reverse lever, straight up. Then obviously just reverse back, you'll have a guy in front of you and a guy behind you guiding you back into your rubber marks. It's vital that you're in those rubber marks. Once you come back after the burnout, we'll tell you to stop, reverse lever back down into forward gear. The guys will check the engine to make sure the idle and everything's set right. After that, we'll bring you into pre-stage. That's the first stage light on the Christmas tree. So what we'll do is we'll bring you in a foot away from that light. So again, you got your hand on the brake and foot on the clutch. What you do is you just ride it in. So you hand off the brake and just let your foot lightly off the clutch and the car will start rolling into the first light. Once you get to where that crew member is that says you're a foot away, stop. Now that crew member will leave. You're on your own then. It's the ball's in your court. You've got 3 things to do. Visor down, second fuel pump lever on, grab a handful of brake really tight and take your foot all the way off the clutch pedal, put it on the floor. From there you can bump that second stage light in. Once you bump that second stage light in, you hold the brake nice and tight. As soon as you see that flash of amber, nail the throttle and hold on.
And away we go.
Away you go.
And this lever here, what's that for?
That's a fire bottle lever. Fingers crossed you won't need it, but ever in case of a fire, that gets pulled straight away. There's little outlets throughout the whole chassis here that will spray foam throughout the car to put the fire out.
So basically, if there is an accident, and then let's hope there won't be, but you pull that lever on and then unbuckle and get the hell out of Dodge.
Make sure the car's stopped before you get out.
Or the hell out of Hemi.
Yeah, the hell out of Hemi, yes, and get straight out. But this will be right. These cars are set up really nice. You won't have a problem with this car. It's a very comfortable car to drive.
And what should I expect as far as the run down the track? Do they require a lot of steering input?
You do need to steer these things, yes. Yep. It's not something that's just going to go straight down the track. If you feel the car move to the right, steer it to the left. Same, either way. You'll know, you'll have that sense of the car's going to the centre, move it that way. Don't be afraid to steer the car.
So I would imagine everything happens so fast, so you wouldn't really have a great deal of time to think about it. You'd have to react pretty quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. You got to have your wits about you.
And as far as after the run, shutting it off?
These 2 levers get pushed down. That eliminates the fuel to the engine. The engine will wind down and slowly turn off. Once the engine's turned off, you push your kill switch in. It's a safety switch. Tow it back to the pits, service her up and get ready for the next one.
Mate, well, it sounds good. I think for me, the next thing now would be just to go through all these processes again and again until it becomes second nature.
With this, yep. And you'll be right.
Because I reckon when this baby's pulling up on the line, I reckon there's going to be a lot of things going through my head, so it's going to be important just to drum it into me, I suppose, exactly what has to be done. Exactly. There's no room for error, really, is there?
There isn't, not with these things. They can be dangerous. They're not toys.
Yep, well, I reckon unless you risk life occasionally, you're really not living it to the fullest, so we're about to find out, aren't we?
Shannons Club,
a hub for motoring enthusiasts. So join, create your own garage, share pics, videos and stories of your current and past machines, connect with other enthusiasts. Be sure to watch Shannons Club TV with a host of dedicated motoring channels, including past episodes of Man and Machine. So jump on board with Shannons Club. I'll see you on there. Well, after sitting in this machine, I've got to be honest in saying this is an entirely different world to me. I've never experienced anything like this. To be honest, I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm used to sitting in a car that's quite comfortable, say in a circuit racing application, where all you really have to worry about is driving it. And this is far from that. They're very tight, there's no room. Your feet get jammed in between the chassis area. There's just absolutely no room in there whatsoever between the chassis and the gearbox. We've got levers, fuel levers, brakes. We've got stuff going on everywhere here. There's nothing like a normal car to drive. So I've got to learn all over again in a 4,000 horsepower car. All you've really got in the way of instrumentation here too is an oil pressure gauge. There's no tacho, there's no rev limits. You've just got to get in there and go for it. Now I see what these drivers in these cars go through. I mean, you see them blast up and down the strip and you think, wow, that is sensational. Awesome, awesome racing. But you never quite know what these guys are going to go through. The other thing too is I feel like my knees are up around my ears. It's quite awkward sitting here like this. The steering wheel is also quite odd. It looks like something that had come out of a jet fighter. It's very unique. How much lock I require when I'm heading down that strip trying to keep this thing in a straight line, I don't know. I'm about to find out. The engine is basically right in front of you as well. The thought does go through your mind, if something expires there, are you going to be involved? Let's hope not. Sometimes you've just got to take risks in life and you've got to enjoy yourself and go to the fullest. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living the dream. I've wanted to drive something like this since I was a young child, and guess what? It's happening. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Well, it's day 2 and we've hit the racetrack. I've got to say I feel quite excited and very privileged. I've got the entire Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car race team here just to support me. And I'll be driving this 1973 Ford Mustang. It's called Let's Boogie and it's one of my favourites. We went through a lot of work yesterday at the race shop to go through all of the processes so that I know what I have to do just to get up to the start line and then race the car. So there's a lot of work to do and a lot to think about. So let's move on to the next process and get this show on the road.
How you feeling, Glenn?
Yeah, it's not a nice place to be. My immediate feeling, it's very condensed and very hot. Every breath of air I'm taking at the moment feels like 100 degrees just on this hot day. Got the balaclava and everything. So it's certainly not a comfortable sort of scenario. Now I know what these drivers go through. This ain't no walk in the park driving these things, I can tell you. Just from this perspective, and I haven't even got to the track yet. Like at the moment, like I'm just sweating like you wouldn't believe. I got sweat dripping down my face. I'll try and obviously I need to become comfortable and feel at home in the car.
Yeah.
If I was thrown in this car like this before it like virtually lined up to go on the strip, I'd be in a state of panic.
Yeah, so you got to get that out of your head.
I need to get that out of my head, and I need to feel like I'm at home.
Yep.
I need to feel like I can get out of home real quick if I need to as well.
You will be able to. It'll be fine.
And then I think I'll be familiar and ready for action.
Yep.
Brake is fine. 1 and 2 fuel levers. All good. first and 2 shift are fine. Clutch, fine. Throttle, fine. Motor, tell you what, I give credit where it's due. You do an amazing job.
She'll be right.
This is no this is no billy cart.
No, definitely not.
Think of yourself being locked in a cupboard, a very tight cupboard, really tight. You can barely even move. Your hands are tied behind your back and your feet are tied up. There's also a heater inside that cupboard and it's at around about 60 degrees Celsius. You can't breathe, you're hot, you've got sweat running down your face, you can't see the handle to open it up, and then outside is a time bomb just in front of you waiting to go off, so you've got to get out of there. That's probably the feeling I had when I first sat in this thing. I thought, no! I'm used to driving cars where you've got comfort and full control. This is going to be a totally different kettle of fish.
At Autobarn, we know that your wife and the love of your life aren't always the same thing. We know that music makes the journey go faster, so we've got a full range of car audio systems. We know a bit of effort can save a lot of money, so we have everything you need to take care of your car. We know the difference between fashion and protection, so we have a huge range of seat covers. And we know you're busy, so our expert staff can fit all sorts of products and accessories for you. Autobarn, we know how to get you there.
The Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car Series is a brand new concept in Australian drag racing. For a long time, something like this has been really required in Australia, where the entertainment factor of drag racing is actually the priority. The cars are spectacular. They're designed to appeal to the families, they're designed to appeal to the children. That's why all the cars have got character names, why they're unique in their colours, and their colour schemes are all part of what the families are looking for. It's entertainment. At the events you'll see fireworks, and ultimately you'll see other exhibition vehicles and stunt type people coming to these shows to make them something really entertaining for the people. And you'll see this show going all the way around Australia.
These Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars are an amazing thing. Now in Australia, the fastest these cars have run is a 560. They'll run 250 mile per hour as well, which is 400 kilometres per hour plus at the end of the quarter mile in 400 metres. That is absolutely insane speed. They're a wild ride. In fact, when you compare 4,000 horsepower and something like this to some of your top fuel cars, these things aren't really that far behind. They pack a mean punch for the specification that they have. What a car. So Shane, this is where it's all going to happen?
This is where the fun begins. Right here in this box here is where the car will start up. The car will roll through the water. Like I said, you'll get to this white mark down here on the racetrack. One of the crew guys will give you the signal, do the burnout. That's where you do your burnout.
So hit it hard?
Yep, it's got a throttle stop, so yep. Obviously don't smash it through the floorboards, but yeah, just take
until
it to
she stops.
Take it to the throttle stop.
Pedal to the metal.
From there, you'll probably stop around here somewhere. We'll take the throttle stop off, get you all set for the run. From there, I'll bring you into the first stage light, roughly where this first light beam is that runs across the racetrack here. I'll bring you in within a foot of that first light. From there, I'll walk off, I'll give you the signal 1, 2, 3, and then you're on your own from there.
So effectively 1, 2, 3 is visor,
fuel,
foot off
the
clutch, hard on the brake, and then she's ready for action.
The Christmas tree will be there, just wait for that flash of amber, and stand on the gas.
The one thing I've noticed about the track, Shane, is that it's very sticky to walk on. What's the deal there and what creates that?
It is, they use a traction compound on the racetrack.
Right, yep.
They spray it on there. It's a mix of traction compound and methanol.
Yep.
It just creates that sticky surface. At the moment, it's pretty greasy at the moment, as you can see with the heat on it. It peels the rubber up. So as the afternoon comes, it'll get cooler and it'll be a lot more stickier.
So effectively with the heat, like today's a 35 to 37 degree day.
It makes the track really greasy. It's hard to race on. And
by the time we get to run, you think it'll have cooled down enough?
Heaps, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to need all the help I can get.
You'll be right.
So we're going to do a warm-up now. Basically, this is a test to make sure that everything's working properly. There's no oil or fuel leaks before the car's taken out on the track. Interested in finding your very own muscle car like these? It's so easy to find your next dream car. Just head to uniquecarsales.com.au. Select by make, model and more to find the perfect car for you, or just browse your favourite category. You'll find a massive range of cars like the ones we've just seen at uniquecarsales.com.au.
G'day, my name's Rob Godfrey and I use and recommend Aeroflow fittings, whether it be for show or go.
Hi, I'm Poe. This is my 7-second Supra. I use and recommend Aeroflow.
Hi, I'm Chris Palazzo.
And I'm Corbin Palazzo.
Show or go, we use Aeroflow.
I'm Mario Colillo. Mild or wild, I use Aeroflow.
Aeroflow, manufacturers of professional hose, fittings and a whole range of performance products to suit your vehicle. To download the latest Aeroflow catalogue, go to aeroflowperformance.com. Proud supporters of the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars.
Yeah! Thanks, man. Woo! Yeah! That was awesome! Thanks, fellas, you did great.
How's that all right?
Awesome.
For a first run.
Thank you very much.
Wow! How am I going to explain it? How's another world sound? How's a space shuttle sound? Yes! Now I know why Graham Cowan is so damn addicted to this sport. What a ride, what a rush. Once you get out there on that start line, the nerves tend to go and you just got to worry about getting that thing down the track, and wow, does this thing launch. It just hooks up and it goes. It rattles, it shakes, it bangs. It's a horrifying feeling, but just euphoria. Woo, yeah! Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny car action, that's what we want!
Good stuff.
Well, that's it for us here at this funny car test. What an amazing time this has been for me. And what a privilege it has been to work with the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny car team. They are, I believe, one of the best Australia has to offer. The outfit here, the car's absolutely superb. And Lex Boogie, what a machine this thing is. Absolutely unbelievable. Gave me a ride of a lifetime, one I'll never forget. I'd like to thank Graham Cowan for helping us out here. It's been an amazing experience, and especially Shane Olive. He's an incredible driver with a massive amount of experience. He's been drag racing since he was a kid. I couldn't have asked for a better teacher, and I'd like to thank him very, very much. And also a great big thank you to the crew. The crew is such an important part of this entire package with these cars. Without them, you haven't got the combination. No crew, no car, vice versa, it's not going to work. So thanks guys, I had an absolute ball. This is an experience I'm never ever going to forget in my entire life. I think the only thing that would get close would be taking off in the space shuttle, and that's never going to happen. These things are raw, they're mean, they're powerful, and an absolute spectacle. I'll be sure to keep an eye on this series because it's going to be one to watch out for. Entertainment like you've never seen before. Anyway, that's it for us here. See you next time on Man and Machine. Don't forget, if you'd like to watch past episodes of Man and Machine, jump online and head to Shannons Club. Man and Machine is brought to you by Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.